never been lonely. Why my girl and me, ba-ba-da, my girl and me. Oh, young hearts, run free. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Miss Candy Stanton. That lady's like 82 years old. Y'all know when she made that song? Well, she was just, well, from watching interviews of Miss Candy Stanton, uh, she did several interviews. They're on YouTube. She talks about being in that toxic relationship. Her, I think an ex-husband, well, he like hell hung her over a balcony like the movie Five Heartbeats and Big Red. Said it's gonna kill her if she leaves. If she tried to leave, this is back in '75, '76, something like that. And so she had a friend that she told a story to when she got away from that guy. And her friend said, I'm gonna write you a song. He wrote that song. It's become an eternal hit. But then, this generation and TikTok, and then the feminist little young chicks, they remixed the doggone song. The video when she reacted to the song, they remixed it. They're running all over like they're in a park, in the mall, or somewhere saying "young hoes," "young run free." Told you. You got a group of women that refer to themselves as bitches. Now they call themselves young hoes, running free, meaning I'm free. I don't need no N-word. And Candy Stanton's granddaughter, real cute, little something. She showed her grandmother. It's like, Grandma, look at this. And Miss Candy Stanton said, she looked at you like, her face changed. She's like, oh no, oh no. See, anyway, I don't know why I just broke out, start this live off with that random. I guess I was singing a song, and she also had a few other songs that's pretty cool. They play the songs a lot on in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. The world first black program radio station in the country, WDIA in Memphis, the home of blues and everything. A lot of uh, legendary DJs, known their personalities that came through there. Rest in peace, Bob J. And everybody like that. Miss Bev Johnson still there. Hey, Bev. A lot of people. I think WC. Who else? Jay Davidson, Michael, Rufus Thomas was there. I mean, I can go down the list. I'm gonna stop naming things. I'm gonna mess around and leave out some folks, and I don't want to. I don't want to be accused of doing that. So let me get to why I'm doing this live. Let me sit down in my little space. Oh, by the way, y'all know there's my water, and so everybody's coming in. Y'all do me a favor, please, please. I know I go live every once in a while, but please do me a favor, y'all. Hit that like button on your way in. Hit that like button on the way out. I really appreciate it. And then you can also hit that Cash App too, because hey, the reason I don't get to these lives, I'm too busy, somewhere working, trying to earn rent. So please hit that live. I don't care if you don't like me. Click that like button. Click that like button and share this thing. So anyway, hello everybody that's coming. Hello, hello. If you're new to my live, new to my YouTube channel, this is Rico. I am Rico, the opinionist, and this is my page watching people about issues that affect us. If you're not a foundational Black American, you shouldn't come in and listen. If you want to spread the word to other foundational Black Americans, there's I guess, another YouTube channel. I've been here a while, but yeah, and I can use the watch hours, y'all. So let me get to it. Y'all know the whole Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf thing that's been popping, and well, y'all have already had your reactions to them, railroading him, and with the non-black jury and the little racist judge that gonna try to he gonna retire. Knew they did some dirty shit. Uh, and pretty much, he was done in by the advice. What's that pro cal? What's that per cal cal? Says Brother Rico, what's been happening? What's happening? I'm just chilling, man. Just working. Like everybody else, sharing my thoughts on social media like everybody else. So that's what I've been doing. That's what's been happening. staying out the way and trying to get y'all to click that like button. Those of you who are in here, please click the like button. That's how I make it through the algorithms. So, uh, and I remember when that whole thing first started, when it first hit the internet, when it first hit the news about that whole situation, and the little Austin Metcalf bully on his day, he fucked around out. That's why he's not here. All of a sudden, the media went him right on in it, man. They went to painting this boy, this young man, at the time 17-year-old. He got convicted and sent to jail for 35 years at 19. They didn't really have any evidence or anything. I kind of knew that the fix was in the beginning. Cause do y'all know something? And I'm zigzagging. Isn't it interesting to after the judge retired, John Roach, whatever the little racist is in Frisco, he retired from the bench. Some people like he got removed from the bench. No, that cracker did all dirt for about 25 years. And so he can go and rest and try to rest his conscience for all the dirt that he's done, particularly I'm sure to black folks. So he get to, just like the other hall of racists in the past 150 years, got a chance to dirt they can, with their energy can muster up, and the system allowed them to do. Then they get retired with their money and their pension. Just know, like cops out there murder somebody, they get to be transferred and retire with their pension. So yeah, he got his ass out here and did his last bid or bidding, and so I just want to run something by y'all, and I'm trying not to take long, but y'all notice whenever a cop shoots a black male or and kills or beats a black man to death or chokes a black man to death, they show the video on the internet over and over and over and over again to the point that it continues to share that trauma, to make sure that trauma hits the minds and the cerebral of black Americans, I guess in the guise of Americans. But it was very interesting. I knew the fix was in when they wouldn't show this video in its purest form. You had to come to Fo or I guess McKinney, one of the police stations. You had to come in and sign in, then be escorted in where you can watch it under the supervision of somebody, probably cops or whatever. Interesting. You notice how they didn't put this video out. I said, wonder why they do that. They treated this like they do when a cop kills somebody and the police in the wrong. They hold on to the tape so they can get a chance to, get their pencil, get their eraser and erase some things. Yeah, because when you look at the video, it's clear up until you get under that tent. All of a sudden, it becomes fuzzy. And so the media did its job, make sure that they dirty up the young man, and they're trying to canonize the little bully boy whose family has a history of being poor white trash in Frisco. Their father comes out after he got that little fake win and doubled down on his attack of the family and called him a watermelon felon and all this kind of nonsense. And oh, and we wonder where Austin and his brother Hunter got this behavior from. Well, the mother and father, no shit, I'm about to say mother, father, but the mother and father were long separated, and she never said anything because their father is an abuser, and the boys grew up to be abusers in place, and so they don't put any dirt. When someone dies, when a cop kills somebody or chokes somebody out, they make sure the same media, the same internet, they make sure they dig or whatever they can up the black victim's reputation while they're dead. But they never did this with this Austin Metcalf boy. And there's plenty of dirt. Plenty of people know that they were bullies and they were not very nice boys. But white media never ever put any dirt on his name like they do black victims of police murder or any kind of systematic murder or attack involving Caucasians. Isn't that something? Rico, why you bringing up race? Because it's all about race. I don't pretend that race isn't real. That's y'all. Now, when I look at Caucasians, do I see a history of race? I look at a white person with the potential to use it to activate her power under a system that was created because they're white. So yes, not yet that I see racism in every white person, but what I see is potential for them to be as racist and as passive aggressive in their racism as they choose to. Because they can activate it at any time. Even if you want them black person decide to have a baby with occasion, ask Halle Berry how her ex-husband, first baby dad, and Nyla's dad, the model, was calling Nyla nigger and calling and hollering the N-word and all of that. They can still activate their racism. So marrying them, reproducing children with them don't stop their inner racism when they choose to activate it. So having said that, the media never dug into his past or dug into that father's past or that mother's past to dirty them up. They tried their best to dirty up the reputation of the Carmelo and of the Anthony family. But there's nothing there. The mother, nothing. The father, nothing. The son, nothing. There was nothing that they can dig on Carmelo, so they made up shit. He brought a knife. Well, come to find out, anybody can carry a knife in Texas. Did y'all know that? Little blade. And then how about this? Just the judge gonna have the audacity to put the knife, I guess the murder weapon, online. I guess that's now. I guess he's trying to dirty up the possibility of a successful appeal. Number one, the boy shouldn't have went to jail in the first place. Number two, he shouldn't have been arrested. Number three, never should have went to trial, let alone being arrested and sentenced. It was bullshit. And so they can't and so they went right to work and tried to make him a stereotype. Carmelo Anthony was not a stereotype. He isn't a stereotype. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't a gang member. He didn't have any baby mamas. He never knows. He had good grades. He lived in a beautiful suburb called Frisco, majority white folks and Asians. That was on the jury, Asians and white folks, and the Hispanics, who I'm sure if you want to look at their driver's license, they have white on it as their race. Nobody black, no foundation of black Americans. Uh, he lived in a nice, beautiful home, 2-story, big body home in Frisco. They were not stereotypes, but they worked their ass out to justify their racial animus towards this young black male. So they worked their ass off. But see, people like me who understands, and there's a lot of us who understood, because we like, no, we're not letting it happen. So I appreciate the internet because the traditional media was not going to be on our side. It's never on the side of the true victims. They're black. ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, not even CNN ain't how to do a good job. I mean, everybody was quiet. So thank God for the internet. They gave all of us a voice to combat anything that was a lie, anything that was an attack on that young black man. His only crime is what is a crime that's committed across that's being committed, has been committed and continue to be committed by so many black children. And all he is, he's guilty of being an Oreo. That's it. Yeah, these black parents, they start doing good, doing well on their jobs. They moving away from people and moving around all white people and a couple of Hispanics and maybe 12 Asians and putting these white schools in these white suburbs and you raising Oreos, black families, black parents. And so it says that said, good evening, my brother. What's up, Bama boy 685? What's up? Good evening. And so, and a lot of us are guilty. I don't have any children, but a lot of black people are guilty of this. Y'all move to these beautiful white suburbs, the Republican districts, by the way, for those of you who hate Republicans and MAGA, well, y'all $600,000 houses are in white MAGA suburbs. So he's just guilty, and then to find out his little girlfriend is a Hispanic Mexican girlfriend who's the play cousin, the real cousin of the very biracial male who sold him out, not dime him out, because dime him out means they told someone that he did. He sold him out in the trial. What's his name? Eddie Parra, that little bastard. Did y'all watch it? He claimed that he wasn't friends with Carmelo. All at Carmelo house, all at Carmelo grandma birthday, all kinds of stuff. Pictures of them doing it together, doing making faces. and but he got in court and said, I ain't hardly know him. So it was really from the beginning, and I hope with this new appellate um, panel of lawyers that have stepped up to take on this case, and it's pro bono. Please like this live and share it. But here's the interesting part, and I appreciate those black lawyers out of Frisco, all over Texas. They're high powered. Justin Wilson and what's that Wilson? What's that Wilson boy who married Sierra? Wilson. That guy. No, but I know he's not related, but he has the same name as that football player, Wilson. Russell Wilson. Um, I think is that Russell Wilson? Or is his name something Wilson the second or Justin Wilson, but something like that. I'm coming to find out there's a sister on this power team, this dream team, this appellate dream team, as it's being referred to. I heard that she went to Grambling State University, my alma mater. Shout out to Grambling State University. From the Trump law firm. I mean, I'm saying the Ben Crump law firm. I guess it ain't Johnny Carson. I guess it'll do. Um, and there's a very impressive assembly of black attorneys who are going to try to challenge this whole verdict on appeal. And when I heard that they were doing it pro bono, okay, stop right there. Because y'all know, if you know me, you know, I understand it's pretty cool. But it's very interesting, though. How come none of these high-powered appellate lawyers, I'm sure a lot of them are criminal lawyers and constitutional lawyers, where y'all black hands at how come y'all didn't offer to take his criminal case, all y'all got together to fight his criminal case pro bono? Why jump on the appellate? Because if people are describing y'all as being like a dream team and a power team, how come y'all didn't jump on the criminal? How come? How come y'all didn't say, we'll do this shit, we won't do this pro bono, we'll do it for free? So what? So I guess if people's like, Rico, damn, always just asking questions about everything. I'm just curious because he's right there in Texas, and a lot of the people on that appellate dream team, they out of Texas. I think a couple of them right there out of Frisco. So why didn't anybody, y'all educate me if any of these lawyers volunteered pro bono? Because from what I understand, they gave hundreds and thousands of dollars to that white lawyer turned on them. They gave about $500,000 to that white attorney that did their son in. So how come you high powered black attorneys didn't volunteer to do that young man's case pro bono? Let's go on to court. So I guess y'all want to come in and jump in and say, I guess be the superheroes. It does make you, but you know initially what it's all about. I think it's about that. Let's say if they won the appeal, they just want that extra clout to say, well, you know, when black people stand together, you know, it was got him off. Even that it was told to get a white attorney, it's something that's gonna be spun or spend, make them look like just so great. When I'm thinking like, hell, all this could have been settled had y'all stood up and this pro bono in the first. I think you'd have got more on the front end. But we just want the young brother out. And I'm not, now, by the way, y'all, he's not a symbol of some kind of justice or anything. He's just a Oreo black kid. Parents moved him, y'all send him and don't teach him anything about their blackness or who they are. Because we've moved, thanks to Barack Obama, to a post-racial America. And guess who's catching the tail end of that? Black people. Why are you always talking about race? Because it's all about race. While we around here disarmed on the conversation, they armed themselves strictly because of racism. In the courts, criminal justice system, politics, education, everything. We around here talking about, you know, it doesn't matter because we're all God's children. We're all one people, you dumb. Dr. Claude Anderson says, a lot of you don't even understand the definition of racism. Racism is what it is. It's a race. It's a race for resources, the race for power, the race for money, economics, and power. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson has always taught us. So I'm hoping that we'll understand that what this thing is about. It's about them flexing the power. It's showing that black people is out here sitting ducks. We fell for that nonsense. And so I'm pulling for this young man like I did in the beginning. It doesn't matter if he's an Oreo. He ain't bother nobody. The thing is, when you parents move y'all kids out, and y'all move out to these all-white suburbs, then you don't teach your kids about Malcolm X. You don't teach them about Marcus Garvey. You don't teach them about Ida B. Wells. You don't teach your daughters about Dr. Francis Wilson, Dr. Joy Leary, Dr. Julia Hare. Even introduce your daughters to a biracial attorney who's a pretty powerful sister by the name of Michelle Alexander. But y'all want her to love all up on some damn Michelle Obama. See, that's why your kids try to get caught up in nonsense. Teach them, arm them. White adult Jews teach their kids about racism and discrimination against Jews from the cradle and they under it to the grave. But we let black people, who are the victims, number one victim, even today, targets of systematic racism and discrimination. It's not about race. It's not about your skin color. Well, I tell you. So hopefully, a young man, when he get his when he get his little behind out, he go on about his life. And by the way, and I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson on this. I don't know if y'all seen that video. He broke down who that little girlfriend was. And he talked about that little Eddie Potter, little bastard, little two backstabbing Judas. I agree with him. If you can hear this, Carmelo Anthony, break up with that little Hispanic girl because dude that damned you out or turned on you, Judas you, is her cousin or play cousin. Now, if it's her cousin, that's a bad thing too. But play cousin means probably a little chick he wanted to screw, but she happened to be going with you. And he was probably mad about it, Anthony, that you was fucking on a little chick he wanted to fuck, but she looked at him as a friend, so he became the play cousin. Dudes have resentments when chicks reject them for their friend. He's a little petty little young guy. Yeah. So don't talk to her on no phone calls while you locked up, Anthony. Just listen to your parent and listen to your new attorneys. Don't talk to anybody's son, okay? And so another thing I want to talk about, you know, and yeah, he should be free. He shouldn't have been in jail. Another thing I want to talk about is, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but just a little. If y'all saw the videos of Judge Joe Brown, I'm so disappointed in you, man. You shouldn't have said all that, man, because it wasn't true. It was so off topic. Well, they like manhood. If you're going to get in a fight, hell, when I was youngster and back in my day, when we came up with a fight, we used our fists. And if you got your ass whooped, you just got your ass whooped. Judge Joe Brown, it wasn't like that, sir. It wasn't like that. And ain't nobody finna fight two big boys. If you're not, some people ain't one four dude. One little dude, one dude is not gonna fight two dudes combined were 420 pounds combined. He was not gonna fight them. He didn't. When did the law just really take effect when black people try to defend themselves? So Judge Joe Brown, man, I love you. You're still my man, but I'm gonna have to get on your ass. You older, and you always been old, but now I think something else is kicking in. He did what he was supposed to do. He wasn't supposed to sit there and get stumped out, or worse, because you're talking about your little antiquated version of manhood, and say now he's gone and done something that got itself locked away, and so then this is the part that really hurt me. I was really disappointed, Judge Joe Brown. I hope they wreck him when he in jail. What the hell is that? What you mean they hope they wreck him? Is that your way of saying what weirdos say? Well, when he go to jail, I hope they sodomize him. I hope they grape him. Is that what you talking about, Judge? You want this young man who doesn't have a history of any type of violence, criminal record, never even accidentally picked up a quarter in Walmart. He does not even have it. Why you wanted that harshness to happen to him? Why'd you do that, Judge? This wasn't that kind of situation, Judge Joe Brown, and so what it showed to me was why we're kind of out of touch, man. Now you've been on some stuff, you've been on it, but I think it's time for you to go ahead and just let it go. Dana, find another gentleman like your law expert. Make him about 50 years old. Let these 80-year-olds go home. Cause they just be talking. And I hate, that when I saw that, I was just so disappointed, Judge. And if I saw you in person with the same conversation, I'll tell you, Judge, you was wrong, man. You was out of line. And then in the video, I'm gonna put it in my description box. This one video that Professor Blacktruth did. It was excellent how he described the silence of these black attorneys and how all of them are now they're such legal experts. Well, Carmelo said it done this and went too far. He said it done that. I'm like, wow, all these black attorneys, they're coming to woodworks to judge this trial against Anthony Carmelo. Now, this is not some dude who was in the Crips, Bloods, Rookins, Vice Lords, none of that. But they really went in to show white folks their legal expertise. It's been the strangest thing to witness. All these black people and these black lawyers. Oh, it's a lot of folks. There's a lot of us out here combating it, but it's still, you can't help but notice all these black folks are just. I said, what is this? Am I seeing things? Is this shit for real? He said about it. Let me tell y'all something. I do crowdfunding, crowd management, security at stadiums across Dallas-Fort Worth. They'll be in downtown or in the suburbs, Irving, Frisco, anywhere. And when they have concert stuff, sporting events, I do that like my little part-time hustle. And speaking of him bringing a knife, he didn't. Um, first of all, let me go back to this real quick. They got the man on flat-out murder. They convicted him of murder. Murder means something came with intent. That young man didn't come to school with the intent of nobody. Some people carry knives all day long. They don't leave their house. Well, as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to stab a motherfucker at work. Man, as soon as I get a stab a motherfucker at the gas station. Man, if somebody blow at me in traffic, stab them. No one does that. And it's never been like that. Unless they were really criminals who set out to do that. So why wasn't a manslaughter? They would make a point to us. To us. You don't defend yourself against white men. You're supposed to let them beat your ass and get justice in the courts. That's the message was. So, and do y'all know how many tons, how many pounds of weapons that we confiscate at the gate when we're checking people in? Mace, uh, razor blades, knives, pocket knives. That little blade that the judge tried to, with his little slick ass, tried to put on the internet. No, they're a lot bigger because people have those hunting knives on there. Oh, I forgot I had it. It's like y'all saying, why was he bringing a knife to attract me? Well, the question is, why the fuck these white folks and Mexicans? There don't ought to be no blacks. Why these Mexicans and folks bringing knives to a Dallas Cowboy game or a Dallas Maverick game or a hockey game or a track meet? All the things that I've worked. Why they bringing knives to a WNBA game? Why are they bringing this? No, y'all never asked that question because it's not a question to ask. It doesn't make sense. But y'all anything but the facts. He went there looking for trouble. How the fuck you go look for trouble? It's poured down and raining at a track meet. So y'all have to see. People can ask real questions y'all would never have an answer to. And so I'm just so disgusted by so many black Americans who just sweating away that boy. He's a poor example for black people. He set black people back, all kinds of weird stuff. Again, this dude ain't never done nothing in his life except for be well taken care of by his parents and live in a big $500,000 plus home in Frisco. And they had to move out because motherfuckers threatening them. And then we so slow. We gonna sit there and let people attack them for doing a GoFundMe for his defense. While every murderer that's ever murdered somebody that's murdered somebody black, they got hundreds of thousands of dollars in GoFundMe's. Nobody ever shut them down. The Asian that shot the black boy in the back got about $150,000 or something. Nobody said, they need to shut that down. He's trying to profit off. And they really went in. They really did their Wonder Twin superpowers and got together to make sure that this is going to be as most of a miserable experience as possible to that young man and his family. And sometimes I just look at us. Like, what's up with us? Because Elijah Muhammad told us years ago the white man's the devil. And when I heard that statement, I was coming out of high school, going to my beloved Grambling State University, with the Nation of Islam in Memphis heavy. I learned that. I said, oh, okay, it's the truth based on his history. Yeah, and his deeds in all these different lands, and even in America, pour this motherfucker poison water to get control over people. Who does that? That's satanic behavior. You poison food to get control of people. So I just want to say to half of Black America, I'm disappointed. Not like we're asking y'all to defend motherfuckers around here breaking in cars, stealing cars, kicking in people's doors, raping women. No, none of that. This is a suburban black kid. He ain't did nothing but defend himself. And then, and so with the new video, cause I saw it, I saw it again. It clearly shows in that so-called fuzz that those two snatched him, grabbed him. Now, I want black people to listen to me. Now, y'all had kids that go to school. Those of you who don't live in beautiful suburbs, you live in, say, middle income or lower income hoods. And when I was little, what did your mama or daddy tell you? If somebody put their hands on you, pick up something, and you knock their ass out. And then something meant could have been a knife, a broken bottle glass, a brick, a stick, or anything. And so we try to act like we ain't never heard that before as we go against this boy. And plenty of dudes to say, man, them motherfuckers coming my way. Those big guys are coming my way, man. I try to find a stick. Like, man, lay their ass out. And all of a sudden, we get brand new because we let these folks talk us out of our race. So stupid. No, he did the right thing. He said, if you touch me, he said, touch me and watch and see what happens. See, that right there let you know, look, man, I don't want no smoke. Look, man, leave me alone, gone. All of us have said this before. When somebody cussing you out, talking crazy, but you don't want to be doing that ruling. But everyone has said, if you say you didn't, you're a goddamn liar. You said, and your children have said it. Your relatives have said it. They can talk all that shit they want to, but as soon as they touch me, see, but y'all not gonna give Carmelo that benefit of the doubt. He wasn't gonna do nothing long as the boys was talking shit, but he said, touch me, and you see. So that don't count for him though. Man, black people, I'm disappointed. Not all of us. Y'all know the motherfucker I'm talking about. And of course, there's no need to mention these old fuck ass, dick in the boot ass black conservatives. You know they had to say their parts. These bitch ass Anton Daniels, a righteous perspective, black perspective, them bitch ass Cartier brothers, and them little unfunny, corny ass Hodge twins. All of them. They all had some Anthony Brown, Logan, Mr. Stutterama. All these sorry motherfuckers. They were one thing I can say. I named as many others that y'all probably can name, but they're the ones who are on the internet the most. Uh, what's this? What's this other motherfucker name? Brown, whatever. This black dude. All these black conservatives, they getting their butter biscuits by their white audience, talking cash money shit. You know, and Charles Forte, I like you, man. I like the stuff that you present, but you can go back and forth. I got a white audience you trying to appease to. He was called Charles in Charge, then he called himself Charles Forte. I like Charles Forte. But Charles, you're wrong about this too. And should he win the appeal, I want all you motherfuckers. I said, should he win his appeal, and hell, be just let out free. Y'all owe that young man an apology, but you're not because you done sucked so much white booty hole that stubbornness and your pride won't let you do it. And I need those of us who are on code to remain on code. Because that shit it's sickening. And then, and one thing about these black conservatives, one thing about these bitch ass black conservatives, I mean, Jesse Lee Peterson, we know he has a special needs diagnosis, but these motherfuckers they're supposed to be more intelligent and higher functioning than Jesse Lee Peterson, but I don't think so. I'm on the same page as Jesse Lee Peterson. They all make sure they appease their white audience. which is 80% of their audience. They might have a few blacks in there sprinkling around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The black culture, black culture. Anton Daniels, that little weirdo. Um, but they all know how to make their money, and they all love to say, well, um, they say liberals, or you got folk. They always say, the left hates when you use logic. No, nobody's offended by the truth. You little fag ass, punk ass, weird ass, black conservative bitches. It's when you purposely look for anything negative about your own race that you say, well, I'm saying it because I care about my people. I tell you what, all them dudes that I named, Charles Forte, I'm gonna put you to the side because maybe you can be redeemed. But a righteous perspective, he tried to hide vice with his anti-blackness. Well, I'm a Christian and with Christ, man, you can shove your cross up your ass. A righteous perspective. Um, then you have a black perspective. Boyo, just a goofy ass Negro. These goofy ass, and Terrence K. Williams, he is a clown. I mean, And by the way, I've black conservatives for their right to say what they want to say, when they're telling the truth. I don't mind our community being corrected on behavior. I don't. We're not going we'd say Kwame Brown. Yeah, damn. So that I'm trying not. Kwame goes back and forth. When Kwame first came out, I was his number 6 fan. But he leaned kind of hard in that, but he say he ain't part of no political position. But when he get to talking, you know, about shit like this, I just sometimes say, you know what? I think I was happy that he came out, and I like Kwame. I'm not going to say anything disparaging, but he does go too far because he's of the belief that he knows more than what everyone else knows a lot of times, and I like that dude. However, you know, some of those people I mentioned, he gets a lot of his information from, and I wish he wouldn't a lot of times, you know. But I wish Kwame would just stick to the basketball, stick to the sports, man. Some of the stuff and the social things, he's on it. But just like all of them, when they call themselves mentioning white folk, they don't go hard on them. They don't. Say what you want to say about Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor, he might have called black chicks black bitches, but they also call white women whores. White whore. So Tommy Sotomayor, he was a conservative. No, he called conservative, and he voted for Trump, but he also called him out on this shit. And when he talked about black folks, also talked about the Caucasians. Another thing about Tommy Sotomayor that a lot of these other guys can't and won't do. Tommy Sotomayor still can go in black spaces and hang out with black people like him. But these other motherfuckers, Kwame can do it too, because he's a sports figure. He still can go around black people. Because he does. He go little blues things and all that. But these are righteous perspective motherfuckers. And I'm gonna say conservative perspective, a righteous perspective. I don't know about Charles. I'm trying to see how many of them all got white women or non-black women and mixed children at home. That also plays a part in why they go so hard in the black community. Uh, Anton Daniels, Hodge twin, corny goofies, biracial corny goofies. Them Cartier brothers, all of them, Terrence K. Williams, all them they can't come to like a jazz fest with black people or a blues club. No, around black people, they can't. Cause they know why? Not because that they're anti-black in their spirit, but they feel uncomfortable around their own race. Cause you can't talk so much shit about your own people, then sincerely enjoy them when you're around them. You can't. And so now if it's a conservative thing, 500 white folks and only 5 blacks, and they make up 3 of those 5. Well, that's what it is. Grit skinning and grinning, right there with Jesse Lee Peterson. I'll be shocked to see them at a homecoming at a black college. They can't be around black people. They've isolated themselves from their own race for the entertainment of white folks. I know they're gonna say, "Here's another one talking about us," but I tell you to their face. See, I've been at this a minute. So if you can tell the truth to your online, you can stand them face to face and talk to them. Them little bitches can't. Not because they think no, they're better, because they're not. They talk shit, make money off of black trauma. Why ignoring all the progress that people do? And so they can't be around us. Yeah, I can go and I talk about our behaviors, but I love my people, and I know how to separate. I know it's those of us who behave, millions of us who behave, but the world concentrates on that small percentage that gets all the press. Every time I look around, they want to talk some bullshit that they do in Chicago. When many other cities with black folks, ain't none of that shit going on. But that's how they make their money, off of feeding into the racial tropes and the racial tropes of Caucasians. And that's why I can never respect them. Talk about, because if you truly about making your money with white folks, Tom Daniels, a righteous perspective, Mr. Christian, uh, black perspective, and Tavori, what this motherfucker name? Tavori or Bavori, that little black dude with afro. He's old weird, goofy talking ass. Well, here, let me tell you this. That's not, no, part of the black community say black. When a black dude pronounces black, there you go right there. So we got a whole lot of goofies that really showing their asses more. And so, yeah, Kwame brought the way around black folks and truly have fun with black men, other black men, and black women. Can't. Because these motherfuckers, they made a deal with the devil. And they can't be around their own people. I can tell the truth about us. And we can get into it with you. And because I saw Tommy, Tommy would go into the belly of the beast. None of these motherfuckers hold a candle to Tommy Sotomayor. And he went in hard about Tommy. Tommy wasn't no bitch. He didn't hide behind white folks talking shit about his own race, making hundreds and thousands of dollars off of the negative aspects of not our culture, but their subculture. Anton Daniels, listen, you fat faggot. Stop calling everything black culture. Speaking of black culture, it's not black culture, it's that subculture. Every racial group has a subculture. But for some reason, the dominant culture, the dominant media likes to point in all of the stuff that's, you know, somebody said, Roberta said, but Rico, spread my name with two C's. I never understood how any black men can speak against their own people. And how can you stand up for black and lay down with white? Now, speaking up against blacks and speaking to other blacks, see, I let it be known that this is a black YouTube channel. And I'm talking to black people. And my assumption is people who subscribe to my channel are black people. So when I walk around in black spaces, if you see me, you say, yeah, that's him. He said that, Rico, can I ask you this? I probably won't if it's, but there's a lot of them that do that. And then you are correct. How the fuck you gonna talk about black folks if you hop the racial fence? That's weird. That means you got some unfinished business or you upset about something. But you went on. Don't try to talk about black people and if you're a black man and got a white woman, we'll talk about the weave and the lace fronts and the ratchet folks. Shut the fuck up. You moved on, punk. You jumped the racial fence. Like I said about Candace Owens. I liked a lot of stuff she talked about, but I'll say to her, anybody else, you racial fence? Oh, he said, it's cool. He said, I'm sorry for misspelling your name or spelling your name wrong. It's cool. But that's my philosophy. If you laying down with white women all day long, you shut the fuck up about black women and anything. You made your choice. When you hop the fence, keep your punk ass over there. That's my sentiment on it. I don't care who you marry, but you can't marry out there and think you can still talk in. And a lot of them black conservatives got non-black, white, mixed kids, live around mostly white folks. And so that's why people be getting on y'all ass. Because y'all not fair. You're not human. That's why people, you know, Anton Daniels, because he got a black, I guess he said, well, I get it. That gives me a right to talk. No, motherfucker. I have questions, Anton Daniels. The main one I've always asked, how? Now Anton always talking about he got money and shit, which is fine, because we all supposed to work our ass off and have something. That's not my issue. We be talking all this shit. No, you got caught up with the side bitch and everything, because we see what his type actually is. Light-skinned, curvy bitch, but he decided to marry a dark-skinned woman. But probably the best he can do it when he was 19 and 20. But here's the deal. And can anybody in the chat, if you hear me ask this question, maybe y'all can answer this for me. He said he and his wife have been married like 20 years. He's like 43, 44. So they got married probably at age 20, 21 or 22. Meaning he was a young man full of testosterone. He was a young woman with about a billion eggs flowing every month. I don't understand. Okay, not the first 2, 3 years, but how do you be married 22 years? You got married when you was like 20, 21. Y'all means y'all been fucking since you was 19. How y'all have just one child? And then here's the other part. By the way, he said he's always made money, so it can't say, we know when young people starting off, they don't have that much money. I get that. But how you just have one child now? Now, then you stopped at one child, and that child is a daughter? I don't know too many men who ever stopped having children until they got a son out of it. That I was just like, that's kind of weird. Y'all have one child with a married couple, and then you stopped at a daughter? Every father, every man I know has ever had children, be if he had children out of wedlock, he kept up all business until he got a son. He'd rather have kids out of wedlock. Make sure he got a son, because son means a legacy, an heir. Daughters can't continue legacies. Because if they were to get married, change. Makes sense, because if they have a child, that child becomes their husband, that son becomes their husband's legacy, not the grandfather. It makes sense. So I don't know. Maybe I'm sinking in it too deeply. I don't know. But that's Anton. Answer me that, man. How you be 19 or 20 years old? Your wife, you got a young, succulent little wife. No, y'all slept in the bed every day. And one child in 20 years, then you got a girl? Weird. But I digress. I hope this appeals court works for them. And you black attorneys, y'all ain't shit. All you black attorneys in Texas, all across America. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis has been going through straight bullshit. Even before I left, I've been gone 18 and a half years. And Memphis still going through bullshit with a majority black city. Y'all know how many black attorneys, black professionals in Memphis? Just like Atlanta. And I don't understand how black people are still going through this stuff with all these black attorneys. Why the fuck y'all go to law school? Well, we're not because you want to give back to your race. Yeah, I know, and guess what? It can be a money too. But Johnny Cochran made plenty of money. Thurgood Marshall, he was taken care of. But there are no more Johnny Cochrans. You got the Johnny Cochran firm, but they don't have the spirit of Johnny Cochran. There's no Thurgood Marshalls. We got some black attorneys that are Alpha Phi Alpha, but they're not. They're not the alpha that Thurgood Marshall was. These motherfuckers, these some little weakling, self-centered motherfuckers. They are not. They don't give a shit about their race unless they can get some money out of it. But you understand? It's funny how every other race can get millions of dollars out of black people's poverty, trauma, whatever. But these black attorneys say, well, them folks, they don't want to pay. But shit, everybody else seem to be able to get money out of black people's pockets. How come you can't? It's interesting. I always wonder, what's the purpose of having black attorneys? Hell, black judges. Shit get turned around, and we still get incarcerated. Are y'all here to tell me that all these folks that's incarcerating blacks or black judges or white judges? Hell no. A lot of these black folks doing it. These systematic motherfuckers. Sorry. But then they'll get on and talk about the mentoring and talk about this black stuff, but they don't do nothing. But the record doesn't show. I digress, y'all. Please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Just had to talk about this. And good luck to that young man. When it gets out, don't. And Carmelo, should your dream tell it attorney team get you out of this, you need to move your ass. Tell your family, y'all move y'all ass to Cedar Hill or to Soto. And you might want to, it's a lot of pretty, feminine, pretty black girls in the suburbs, Carmelo. Feminine. I know you're talking about, it's a lot, these look good, it's ratchet, but it's a lot of pretty, feminine young ladies your age in the Soto High, Cedar Hill. Here. Get y'all ass away from that part of Dallas and come on over to the southern sector where y'all should have been. They got beautiful. I just some on YouTube that named DeSoto the #1 suburb for black folks. If you live in Dallas Fort Worth, you ever visit, go and visit Cedar Hill. Go and visit DeSoto. It's beautiful. Black folks, over 51% black. Nice homes. Just black folks. Cedar Hill, same thing. Lancaster, right next door. So it's no excuse for this shit. But people do what they want to do, and the consequence that come with it is what it is. I'm your man Rico. Rico, the opinions. Please like, share, and subscribe. Y'all hit that cash up. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Oops, there you go. Peace out.